A moral good has certain qualities which are intrinsic to that particular good or service that relate to ideals of the society in which you're living at a particular time. So the reason we don't sell babies is because that degrades the concept of parenthood and what an ideal parent is or ought to be. And whereas in Greek times it was perfectly acceptable to leave a baby by the side of the road if you didn't want to raise it and you left it to fate or chance whether that baby would survive, we don't follow that anymore. We uphold a different ideal of what it means to be a parent. We do not sell, when you're drafted into the Army today, we do not sell that right to somebody else the way they did in colonial times. We say you have a civic responsibility to uphold to your community if you're called to serve. Likewise, we don't sell grades because that degrades the academic process. The state has the sole authority to use violence, as in the death penalty. Not that we need to debate that right now, but imagine what would happen if the state said, we're strapped for cash, let's sell the right to be the executioner on eBay. If you have a particular heinous murderer who's going to be executed, you could get millions of dollars that could be used for good things, education, libraries, healthcare. Why shouldn't the state sell the rights to execute somebody? And the answer is because we uphold justice as a moral good that has certain ideals associated with it. And it degrades those ideals to sell the right to administer justice on the open market. When we have a hurricane that comes through and ravishes a community, a lot of very conservative Republican governors like Jeb Bush have put in place price controls. They don't want price gouging during hurricanes. Yet higher prices would induce more supply of needed generators and water and other critical things. But we don't allow the price to rise because in times of crisis, things like water become a moral good. They're imbued with an intrinsic element of community and family, that this is not how we would treat members of family in times of crisis. So there's a lot of issues that get jumbled together into making these idealistic goods or moral goods, and they change over time. What was once considered a moral good in one era is no longer considered a moral good in another era. For example, pets in the United States are part of your family. You wouldn't consider it appropriate to eat your cat or your dog. But in China, it's perfectly okay. So this is an example of a different moral ideal in different cultures over time.